guys, it's a girl Ruth. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm back today with another episode, and today we're gonna do a story time. It's been long, guys, since I did a story time. So I've been thinking, like, which story can I share with you guys? Today I'm gonna share with you a story that happened in 2010. I was in Form 3 in high school. Oh my God, I was still a baby. I was a kid, guys. So I remember, like, in high school, after the holidays, when we are back to school, we would sit down, on our beds, and then we would start to share stories, sharing what happened during the holiday. And I remember sharing this story with my friends. Oh my God. They were like, Ruth, why did you tell us this story? Oh my God, they were heartbroken. I had to break my friend's heart. So today I'm gonna break your hearts, guys. So I'm just gonna share with you this story. Okay, so what happened in 2010? So I grew up in Budiriro. That's where I grew up with my family. And then we moved. Now we are no longer living in Budiriro, but this story took place in Budiriro too. So one day my mom sent me to the store. Okay, so when I was on the way to the store, this guy came to me. And this guy's real name is Dominic. I'm not gonna share his surname. So this guy came to me. I remember it was hot. Yeah, it was hot, and I was holding my umbrella walking to the store. And then this guy came and like, hi, my name is Dominic. What's your name? I said, my name is Ruth. Oh, nice meeting you. We started talking. He asked me, where are you going? I told him I'm going to the store. Like, our store was Budiriro 1 shops. And then he said, can I accompany you? I said, yeah, you can. Okay, so Dominic, I'm gonna try to describe him. So Dominic was a nice guy. Dominic was handsome. Dominic was light in complexion. Dominic was same height with me. So you know what? If you were my friend, or if you really know me, ever since when I was in high school, I always said, I'm going to be married by someone who is light. Back to the story. So we started walking to the store. We were talking, getting to know each other. And mind you, he did not approach me. Okay, we were just friends, right? So we were talking, getting to know each other, going to the store. So we could walk to the store. Going there and coming back could take like 1 hour, 30 minutes, or maybe 1 hour, I don't remember. So he went with me to the store, and then we exchanged numbers, right? So when I got home, I was so excited. We were texting each other, getting to know each other. We never shared words like I love you or anything. We're just talking like friends. You get what I mean? We were friends, but at the same time, I don't know, like the early stages of relationship, like people, they're getting to know each other, but they are not dating. In the evening, he started texting me, like, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, tomorrow I'm not doing anything. He said, can we meet again? So, kids being kids, we could always meet in the street. I remember the following day, I met him in the streets. We were just talking. Hi, how are you doing? I remember that time I was friends with this girl called Nomsa. She stayed in our neighborhood. So I was telling Nomsa, like, I met this guy called Dominic. Oh my God, you should see him. Then Nomsa said, which Dominic? You mean that light-skinned guy? Oh my God, are you guys dating? I said, no, girl, we are not dating. We are just friends. Nomsa was like, girl, oh my God, I know that guy is so fine. So I was so excited. My friend was even more excited. Ooh. Then he said, where did you meet? Guys, I told him, just getting to know each other. I'm not his girlfriend yet. He hasn't approached me. So I was so excited, like, getting to know somebody, and you like him, and that person likes you. I just want you to understand the feeling, right? And then I met that guy again, I think maybe after 2 days or so. And then I remember talking to Dominic. So his church was Roman Catholic. And I remember him inviting me to church camp, which was happening in Lake Chivero. Then I said, there's no way my mom is going to allow me to go with you to that church camp, because one, he doesn't know you, two, I'm young, three, my mom is strict, so there's no way. I remember he begged me, just talk to your mom, let's go, it's gonna be fun, we're going to Lake Chiberu. He was so excited. But I know my mom. I said, no, I cannot go. So how many days are you going? He said, I'm going for, I think it was a 2-day trip during the weekend. Then I said, you just go. When you come back, I'll see you. And I remember that same day he was telling me about his church. Like, he was so proud of his church. Like, he really loved Roman Catholic. So he was like, can I take you to my church? I don't know what they call it. Like, is it like an altar or something where there are stairs, and then you take the stairs, and then there's a statue of Mother Mary where people go there and do prayers, something like that. And then I said, let's go. So I remember I went to his church, and then I'm gonna call it an altar because really, guys, I really don't know the name. So we went there, and there was a statue for Mother Mary. He was telling me, like, this is how it goes, and then he gave me his rosary, like, the rosary that they wear, and then he was teaching me how they do the prayer, explaining to me everything. So after we finished the prayers, he said, okay, I'm going to the trip, and then I'll see you after 2 days. I said, fine. So Dominic went to the trip. So during the trip, to be honest, guys, I never communicated with him. And then I was not even worried about it, because I was like, okay, somebody is having a church camp trip, whatever. Maybe the phone went off or something like that, because I knew he was going to come back on Sunday. So Sunday came. I didn't hear anything from him. So I remember I had to pass through his house, because most of the time he was always like standing by the roadside with his friends. So I remember I took that road. I didn't see him. Remember, I was not dating him, but we were getting to know each other. I was liking him and he was liking me. So I went back home. I was like, okay, tomorrow is Monday, I'll see him. And then I remember the following day, I think I was going to the store again. And then I took that same road. I didn't see nobody. Coming back from the store now, I saw his friends standing outside. So you know what his friends used to do? They would say, hey Ruth, hi, pretty girl, something like that. But that day, they were just standing like this. I remember I couldn't even wave them or say hi or to just ask them, where's Dominic? They were just standing like this, all of them. And I'm just wondering, like, what happened? Did Dominic say something bad to them about me? I don't know, like I was just confused. I just said, whatever. And then I just passed and left. So I left, I went home, I was chilling, I was just chilling at home watching TV. And then my friend Nomsa, she came to my place. Ruth, where are you? What's going on? He said, Ruth, did you hear? I said, what? What happened? She said, Dominic is dead. Oh Lord. It's like, what are you saying? He said Dominic is dead. Didn't you see people outside? Because I remember there were people outside and his friends were standing outside, but they couldn't even say anything to me. So you know what, like meeting this guy, like if I look at the period that I got to know him, it was less than a week. Okay, so let's say the first day that I met him was on Monday. Maybe I met him from Monday to Thursday, and that time we were walking around the streets and people, they were seeing us. He was always greeting people when I was walking with him, but we were not dating and he never introduced me as his girlfriend. But obviously when people see you walking with a lady all the time, they will assume that you guys are dating. So that day, his friends, they were just looking at me. They didn't say anything. I would never think that it's his funeral that is taking place. Guys, when my friend Nomsa told me that I was weak, I said, no, I need to go there and check again. Go, you lying to me. He said, let's go. We went there, but Like I didn't get inside or anything. Nobody was outside. Yo, I heard the drum beating. People that were singing. That was a confirmation that my friend was gone. Dominic was dead. I remember I went home, guys. I was crying. My mom came back. I was not crying like just wiping my tears. I was crying. My mom came back from work. She was like, why is she crying? My sister said, oh, his friend died. My mom that day, she was sympathy. Like, she really understood my feelings. She really knew that I was in pain, like I was really, really hurt. And I remember my mom telling my sister, like, can you go with Ruth to the funeral? Somehow she thought maybe if I attend that funeral, maybe I was going to heal, or maybe I was going to take it that he's really dead, and then stop crying. I remember I refused to go to the funeral. I felt like going to the funeral is going to be more painful. I don't know. I was like, just let me be. That day I didn't eat food. I didn't eat sadza. I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken. But the other part, I was like, oh, thank God I was not dating him. Imagine if he was my boyfriend. Whew, that was going to be worse. But the fact that, like he was a friend, I was still getting to know him. He was a nice person. He was a people's person. He was always greeting people. I started to have flashbacks of him taking me to his church, teaching me how to do the prayer using the rosary. Oh my God, that was too much for me. I didn't eat. I remember I went straight to bed to sleep, and I was crying. Guys. I woke up the following morning. My eyes were sore, but I was not crying anymore. But I was just heartbroken. Like, planning things with someone, like someone telling I'm going for a church camp, and they tell you that they're gonna come back, and you don't know that this is the last time of you seeing them. It hurts. So I remember Nomsa, my friend, is the one who was getting all the information for me. So Nomsa came back and told me that Dominic died through drowning in the Lake Chivero. I remember that time there were so many cases that people, they were drowning in Lake Chivero. I think they were swimming or something. Someone told me that he was drunk. I think he took alcohol during the church camp. Those were just different theories. I don't know what really happened, but that was one of the theories. Like he was kind of drunk, and then he was swimming, and then he drowned, and that's how he died. Imagine dying at a church camp. Imagine his parents getting a call that your son is dead. It was a youth camp. And remember, he had invited me to that camp. Imagine, you go to a camp through a friend's invitation, you go with that friend, and then that friend will die there, and then you have to come back alone. I think that was going to be even more painful. Thank God I didn't attend that church camp. But however, the following day, I think like 2 days after his death, I had this dream. So I had a dream. I was standing right, and there was a street in front of me, and people were passing through that street, and I could see him, and people that were passing through the road, and I was on the other road. So I was looking at him, right, and I could see that he was trying to come where I was, and I was trying to go where he was. But you know what happened? It started raining. It was raining, and people started to run, and then I couldn't see him. And that was the dream. I guess that was a way of saying goodbye. I'm dead, and we are different, so I'm gone. This is the last time you're seeing me. I remember waking up, and I had to accept that he's really gone, like my friend is gone. So I remember telling my friends this story after the holidays in high school. People, they could share the stories with their boyfriends. So I remember sharing this story of Dominic, and then people were expecting to hear like, oh, and Dominic approached me, so now he's my boyfriend. That's what my friends expected to hear. But when I said he died. They were like, oh my God, Ruth, why? They were like, are you okay? Are you okay? I remember, we were still kids. So this story, imagine, it happened to me when I was in Form 3. I was still young, guys. I don't know how old I was. And telling the other kids this story, like they were heartbroken. Ever since I lost my friend, I remember if anybody asked me like, Ruth, what's your greatest fear? I would say death. I just hate losing people. I just hate it. Like the fact that you're not gonna see that person again is just too much to bear. But however, guys, it used to be. Nowadays, death is not my greatest fear anymore. Why? Like in the Bible, the word fear is written 365 times. Do not fear, do not fear, do not fear. And now if you look at the fact that a year has got 365 days, that should tell you that God is just telling us that we should not be afraid every day. Because I believe each do not fear was written for each day. So we don't have to be afraid, because I used to be scared of death. But the fact that God is telling us to not be afraid daily, it speaks volumes. So we don't have to be afraid, because God is always with us all the time. On the day of the Pentecostal, God gave us the Holy Spirit, which is everywhere, which is guiding us. And I believe that when it's not your time, you're not gonna die. You will die when it's your time. You will die when you've fulfilled your assignment on earth. When God says it's your time, that's when it's gonna be your time. Guys, I always, you know what? I'm just gonna shift the story, because I love to talk. I talk too much. But anyway, I've always wanted to dream God taking me to heaven in my dream, like just seeing how hell looks like, because I'm always fascinated. I always watch videos of people giving their testimonies, telling people like how hell looks like. I've always prayed like, God, I want to see heaven. I want to see heaven, and then I'll come back and tell the people how heaven looks like. I want to see hell. And I remember one day I had this dream, like something, there was a force which was taking me up. Like I was just going up, like whoo. So when I was just going up, like I was like flying, and the heavens opened. That sound which happens when the movie is starting, like I don't know how to describe it, like whoo. That was the sound, like the heavens were opening, and I was looking up. Like I was not looking down, I was looking up. So the only thing I could see were the stars. I was just seeing the stars. So the moment I was just entering the heaven, looking at the stars, I couldn't see what was like around me, because I was just looking at the sky, and all I was seeing was the stars. And guess what? My husband woke me up. I woke up. I was so mad. I was just having my dream, going to heaven. I was going to experience how heaven looks like. Oh my God. Because I've always prayed, God, I want to see how heaven looks like. But I was just entering, and then I woke up. But trust me, guys, the sound that I heard, I would tell that it was something else. So I've always read the books. The people who say they went to heaven, they always say like, you forget everything. You forget your children, you forget your family, everything that you really love on earth, you forget it. All your mind, your body and soul will be focused on God. That's the most thing that I've noticed when hearing the testimonies of people who went to heaven. One of the people said, so God took me to heaven, and I didn't want to go back. She said, you stop thinking about the people that you love the most on earth. You don't care about the earth anymore. You just want to be there. Because guys, the feeling that I had that time when I was just flying, going up in this, I was so happy. Even the sound, the whoo, it was just peaceful. And then I woke up. So guys, heaven is real. So why I had to talk about heaven? Because my story was relating to death. So when people die, it's either they go to hell or heaven. So that's why I was just sharing this experience of mine. But however, guys, I was just sharing with you that you don't have to be afraid, because my friend's death made me to fear death. But later on I realized that there's no need to fear. We don't have to be afraid. We have to be prayerful and be steadfast in Christ. And I believe that way you'll be just focusing on God. If we look at Peter focused more on the storm than God. The moment that he started to focus on the storm, that's when the problems start. So the moment that you start to fear, that's when the problem is going to start. You just have to focus on God. So fear stops obedience, distorts thinking, and delays purpose. That's what fear does. It delays your purpose. You stop thinking about your purpose on earth because you're just focusing on fear. You're focusing on death. I believe that everyone on earth has got a purpose. You are here on earth for a reason. Ask God, what is my purpose on earth? Because I believe we are here for a reason. If you have a purpose and you start to think of death, you will not fulfill that purpose, because you'll be like, I'm going to die anyway, right? But if you believe that you have a mission that you need to fulfill on earth, that will get rid of the mindset of death. Anyway guys, this was a short video just sharing with you a short story that happened to me years ago. But however guys, I'm just gonna leave you with this lesson. The Bible gives you a do not fear daily. Every day you're told do not fear. So you don't have to be afraid of anybody, but you have to be afraid of God. You have to fear God, because if you fear God, that means you honor Him, right? Thank you so much guys for watching my video. Share, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys. See you next time.